after the first phase in Karnataka, which went by on the 26th of April, we're looking at the next phase here, where barely an hour to go for polling to end, but very prestigious battle for both the Congress and the BJP. For the BJP, North Karnataka and central regions dominated by the Lingayat community, and the Lingayat face here for the BJP is certainly B.S. Yediyurappa and both his sons, B.Y. Vijendra, who's the president of the BJP unit here, and also Raghavendra, who is contesting for the fourth consecutive time, at least hoping to win the fourth time, from Shimoga. For the Congress, Kalaburgi, which is known as the home turf for Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. It's a prestige battle for him as well. So all in all, high stakes for both the Congress and the BJP, who are facing each other in fact, it is a two-way contest itself. The JDS is nowhere here in this area. But let me take you through all the way from the morning to now, the reactions pouring in from these hot seats.
The last leg of polls in Karnataka took place on Tuesday amid a searing heat wave. With this, voting in all 28 parliament seats in the state is completed. Former Chief Minister and senior BJP leader B.S. Yediyurappa cast his vote in Shivamoga along with his sons B.Y. Vijendra, the state BJP chief, and B.Y. Raghavendra, the sitting MP and candidate from the constituency.
100% will do very good performance in this election. Incumbency is here. So very good atmosphere, 100% good margin our party will be.
The spirit of the people is pretty clear. The people of this state wants Narendra Modi ji as a Prime Minister of this country, irrespective of Congress government here in the state, irrespective of people voting Congress party in the last assembly election. But this as parliamentary election, the people of the state will bless Bharatiya Janata Party once again.
We are going to win 24-25 seats. I got that confidence. And wherever we go, Modi, that because of that reason, we are going to win minimum 24 to 25 seats this time also.
Former BJP minister Ishwarappa, who rebelled against the party after his son was overlooked for a ticket, is contesting as an independent candidate from Shivamoga. Former Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai cast his vote in Haveri.
You have casted your vote also. So how is the winning prospect for BJP in this third phase of election?
No, today is a voting day, celebration of democracy. So I request everybody to come out, brave the heat, come out and vote and be a part of the celebration and make democracy successful.
About the political storm that has raked up Karnataka in the second and third phase, sir, involving Prajwal Revanna?
See, that is not, I should not say anything, Baba, today. It goes against the law.
While Hubli Dharwad candidate and Union Minister Prahlad Joshi cast his vote in Hubli city. Former Chief Minister Jagdish Shettar did so in Belagavi.
Our Prime Minister candidate is Narendra Modi. Under his leadership, we are fighting the election. What is the Congress leadership? Who is the Prime Minister?
You will be briefly with the Congress. Do you think Siddaramaiah is a face to reckon with?
No.
Or D.K. Shivkumar? Are they good leaders?
No, that is not at all issue here in the election. It is a parliament election. National level, who is the Prime Minister candidate for the Congress? Congress is a leaderless party.
Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge and his son Priyank Kharge exercised their franchise in Kalaburgi.
चुनाव तो यहाँ पर अच्छा है, माहौल भी अच्छा है. इस बार कांग्रेस पार्टी को भारी बहुमत मिलेगा और इस बार एक होके सभी लोग कांग्रेस को जिताएंगे.
आप मुझे बताइए.
Welfare guarantees of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah reservation, Hubli Neha Hiramat murder case and the Prajwal Revanna sex gate were the top election issues in Karnataka.
The big question this time is, will the BJP be able to maintain its vote share and maintain the lion's share of seats that it won last time? And will the Congress be able to make the cut this time and win more number of seats is the one to be watched out for. With camera person Madhuar, Anaga Keshav reporting for India Today from Bangalore.
All right. Well, where we're seeing Karnataka going to elections, these 14 constituencies, it's really a BJP stronghold. In 2019, the Modi wave really was strong enough for the party to win 25 seats in the 28 Lok Sabha constituency state. In that, we're looking at this region of North Karnataka and Central, where the BJP won all 14 seats. The Congress did not win even one. Even the JDS did not manage to open an account in this part of the state. While we're looking at a key contest, Shimoga, of course, is one of the key contests where we have B.Y. Raghavendra, who is the son of B.S. Yediyurappa, who's contesting, looking for a fourth consecutive term. Opposite him is Geeta Shivraj Kumar, of course, and K.S. Ishwarappa, who is a candidate here, who was a former deputy chief minister, prominent minister under the BJP cabinet, previous assembly government. But this time he has been a rebel. He's decided to stand against B.Y. Raghavendra as an independent candidate, only to fight the so-called dominance of B.S. Yediyurappa's family here in Karnataka. How much of a factor will K.S. Ishwarappa be is something we've got to wait and watch. Remember, he's been campaigning through and through with Prime Minister Modi's face and posters across his campaign trail. Despite him being asked by the BJP not to, he's pasted Prime Minister Modi's posters. The matter was also in court, but that decision hasn't come about yet. He says he's supporting Modi, but he is against B.S. Yediyurappa. We have some big breaking news coming in with regards to K.S. Ishwarappa and his campaign in Shimoga. Let's hear it. All right, in a big news coming in, K.S. Ishwarappa has now filed a complaint with the Election Commission of India. In fact, the Shimoga district, where he complains over B.Y. Raghavendra allegedly making a video of him viral where he's seen campaigning for B.Y. Raghavendra. His complaint against the BJP saying that his name is being mentioned campaigning in favor of B.Y. Raghavendra, which happened the previous Lok Sabha elections and not now. This is basically a bid to misguide people. K.S. Ishwarappa filing a complaint against B.Y. Raghavendra with the Deputy Commission of Shimoga. And in that complaint, he alleges that a video has been made viral deliberately by B.Y. Raghavendra's team, where he's seen seeking for votes for B.Y. Raghavendra. The irony here, it's become quite a mockery, undoubtedly. Ishwarappa has been a BJP member for decades, and he has decided to rebel. He is using Prime Minister Modi's photograph to campaign and ask for votes. And here you have allegedly B.Y. Raghavendra using Ishwarappa's video, a previous video where he is asking for votes for B.Y. Raghavendra in this political campaign to gain votes. Let me cut across to Pramod and Shivi Mol joining us for more on that. Pramod, if you can take us through the joke of this all. Ishwarappa, who wants to rebel against the B.S. Yediyurappa family. We hear that Raghavendra allegedly is using a video of Ishwarappa, old one, where he's asking people to vote for Raghavendra. It's become a mockery of sorts, with Ishwarappa himself asking for votes in the name of Modi.
Absolutely, Nabila, because it looks like the BJP has constantly told Ishwarappa not to do such things, but seeing him being a senior leader and a kind of strong figure in Shimoga, they were unable to stop him from doing that. And we've seen Ishwarappa like his earlier actions as well. So that's the reason it looks like they could not forcibly stop him from doing that. So the next option they had is to only use a video of Ishwarappa seeking votes for Raghavendra, and it looks like BJP also had to go on and decided to go ahead and play with dirty tricks, and that's the reason while Ishwarappa used Prime Minister Modi's images for garnering votes, they have gone ahead and said, okay, if you can do that, let us do this as well, and they have done this, Nabila.
Shibi, give us a sense here of Ishwarappa wanting to contest as independent. The BJP has expelled him for 6 years. I know for a fact Ishwarappa has been sour for not being, for his son Kantesh being denied a ticket. So he decided to stand as independent. I did pass through different parts of Shimoga myself while covering the campaign trail there. And I found that there are some people who are in favor of Ishwarappa and a lot many more who are still confused whether he's with the BJP or not with the BJP, because he has Prime Minister Modi's posters pasted against him through his campaign. So this confusion has really left the people of Shimoga confused.
Ishwarappa taking.
All right, we seem to have a problem with Shivimol's connection there. But nonetheless, there you have it. As we know, Ishwarappa has filed a formal complaint with the commission in Shimoga. All right, Shibi, if you're back with us and if you've heard my question, the joke of it all, Ishwarappa filing a complaint against Raghavendra for using an old video of him campaigning for Raghavendra.
Well, Nabila, like you mentioned, there could be naturally a confusion among the voters of Shimoga regarding K.S. Ishwarappa as well as Raghavendra, considering that they both, are part of the BJP. In fact, last assembly election in Karnataka, we saw Ishwarappa taking not turning into a rebel or staying with the party, and we saw Prime Minister Modi directly making a call to Ishwarappa for, showing maturity at that situation and not really rebelling against the party. But this time the scenes were completely different. We saw him standing as an independent candidate, showcasing posters with Prime Minister himself. So it definitely, like you mentioned, is it's ironical. Plus, among the voters, definitely there is a confusion. There could be a confusion that regarding the BJP candidate, because both of them have been prominent faces of the party itself.
Very much, Shibi. Let me quickly cut across to Rishabh Shetty, who is the famed star of the film Kantara. He votes in the Baindur region, which aligns with Shimoga now. Let me take you through his reaction right after Rishabh Shetty cast his vote. Here's what he said.
ನಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕು ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಸೊ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಹಾಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಸಂಜೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಬೇಗ ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈಗ ಬಂದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಯಾವುದು ಅದು ಈಗ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಮಾಂಡು ಅದು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಂಥದ್ದು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕು ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಸೊ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಹಾಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಸಂಜೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಬೇಗ ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈಗ ಬಂದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಯಾವುದು ಅದು ಈಗ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಮಾಂಡು ಅದು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಂಥದ್ದು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
All right, there you have it. We heard Rishabh Shetty casting his vote. So if you are a film buff in Karnataka and in the northern part of Karnataka, you have an hour left. Please do cast your vote. Every vote counts. At this point, we also have our continued coverage coming in from Gujarat. Paulami Saha is right there. We also have Aishwarya Paliwal, who's joining us from Mainpuri, Uttar Pradesh. Paulami, over to you. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, right in the start of the day, came out to cast his vote, setting the tone and the ball rolling for people in Gujarat. Many of those constituencies that voted. What's the pulse on ground? Bring us all the action.
That's right, Nabila. Thank you so much for, of course, bringing us that report from Karnataka. Here in Gujarat as well, of course, elections are happening in just one phase, all 25 Lok Sabha seats, because Gujarat already has elected its parliamentarian from Surat unopposed, and that is BJP's Mukesh Dalal. So all 25 seats going to elections today, and of course, it will come to a close in some time from now. And yes, Prime Minister Modi himself setting the tone when he cast his vote earlier this morning in Ahmedabad city's Ranip area amid Modi chants. He also had the opportunity to walk down that entire street with, of course, his constituents from both sides. In fact, those residents of the area lining up both sides of the streets. He interacted with them. He chatted with them. He posed for photographs with them. He gave them autographs as well. There was an old lady as well who tied a rakhi on Prime Minister's wrist as well. He interacted with a young girl who was visually challenged as well. He spotted her in the crowd. He went up to her and he had an interaction with her as well, which probably made her day as well. And then, of course, there was Union Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah, who had accompanied the Prime Minister. Of course, in Ranip, he was there when the Prime Minister came in to cast his vote. And then subsequently, Amit Shah, along with his family, his wife Sonal Shah, his son Jay Shah, and his daughter-in-law, they all went in and cast their votes in Naranpura in Ahmedabad city. So that is where they cast their vote. Amit Shah then, of course, prayed at the temple nearby as well. So BJP extremely confident. Prominent citizens, of course, of Gujarat also stepped out to cast their ballot. That included, of course, industrialist business tycoon Gautam Adani.
Gujarat has made its decision. The state voted on Tuesday in the third phase of Lok Sabha elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi cast his vote at the Nishan Public School in Ahmedabad. Union Minister Amit Shah, contesting to retain the Gandhinagar Lok Sabha seat, accompanied Modi to the polling booth. The Prime Minister greeted people and signed autographs. He bowed down to his elder brother, Soma Bhai Modi, before entering the booth.
मैं देशवासियों को विशेष रूप से आग्रह करूंगा कि लोकतंत्र में मतदान ये सामान्य दान नहीं है। हमारे देश में दान का एक महात्म्य है और उसी भाव से देशवासी ज्यादा से ज्यादा मतदान करें।
After casting his vote, Modi interacted with children.
बहुत अच्छा लगा। हमारी लाइफ में हमने फर्स्ट टाइम इस तरह छू के जैसे भगवान को साक्षात जैसे दर्शन हुए हो ऐसा लगा।
वो ऐसे खुद ऐसा चलकर आए और मुझे ऑटोग्राफ दिया। मैं इतनी खुश थी कि मैं सिर्फ उन्हें ही देख रही थी, वो मेरे स्केच पर उनका ऑटोग्राफ देख रहे थे।
Union Minister Amit Shah, accompanied by his son Jay Shah, exercised his voting right in Ahmedabad. Shah greeted citizens after voting. The Home Minister visited a nearby temple with his family, a tradition he observes every voting day.
मैं देश भर के सभी मतदाताओं को और गुजरात के मतदाताओं को भी मन से विनती करना चाहता हूं कि बढ़ चढ़कर लोकतंत्र के इस महोत्सव में हिस्सा ले।
Industrialist Gautam Adani also cast his vote in Ahmedabad. Uttar Pradesh Governor Anandiben Patel, Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, Union Minister Mansukh Mandaviya, MLA Ribaba Jadeja were among those who exercised their franchise. Bureau Report, India Today.
So the Prime Minister, of course, cast his vote today in the Lok Sabha elections 2024. He cast his vote in Ahmedabad city's Ranip area. Let's take a look at all the highlights from Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was at the polling station around 7:30 a.m. this morning. He cast his vote at a school for the third phase of the Lok Sabha elections in Ahmedabad's Ranip locality. After coming out of the polling booth, Prime Minister Modi waved to the crowds and showed his inked finger. A huge crowd gathered outside the polling booth to catch a glimpse of Prime Minister Modi and cheered from the roadside by chanting Modi Modi slogans. Prime Minister Modi was also seen giving his autograph to a child on a portrait which she had drawn of the Prime Minister's. He also gave his autograph on a woman's forehead who drew a picture of lotus with mehndi on her palms as well. Prime Minister Modi was also seen interacting with the crowd. An elderly woman was seen, in fact, tying a Rakhi on the Prime Minister's wrist. Prime Minister Modi also took a child in his arms and was seen playing with him, and people around him were cheering the Prime Minister. So these are some of the highlights of the Prime Minister's interactions with the crowds who had gathered at the Ranip area at the Nishan School in order to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister after he cast his vote. Joining me right now is Brijesh Doshi, my colleague who's joining us from Gandhinagar. He has been crisscrossing the constituency of Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad in order to get a sense of how polling has been going on in the state and especially in the capital. Brijesh, what can you tell us about the polling percentage so far in terms of the latest data that is available, and how does this compare with 2019? Are both sides, at least in the fray, the NDA bloc and the India bloc, content with the voter turnout?
Paulavi, definitely the voting percentage is lower, specifically lower than the 2019. As per the latest figure of the 3 p.m., there was a polling percentage of only 48%, which was lesser than 3% from the last election. So in 2019, it was more than 50% voting done at the 3 p.m. So these are the figures of 3 p.m. We will receive the data for till the 5 p.m. in a while now. In a short while from now. So this is the low voting turnout as far as BJP is concerned, because BJP is heavily rely on the voters for the one-sided victory, as BJP has claimed that they are going to win the, all the Lok Sabha seats with margin of 5 lakh plus lead. For that lead, they have to do the voting of more than 60 or between around 65 to 70%. But this kind of scenario is not shown up till 5 p.m. Still 1 hour, the 1 hour, last 1 hour will be the crucial part when the actual voting will increase, because it's the time of the evening. So people may come out and do the voting in the last 1 hour. So we have to wait for the figures of the 7 o'clock. After that, the picture will be clear that whether it has voted in the favor of BJP or the India bloc. But still, if we talk about the Gujarat, there are crucial 3 or 4 seats where Congress is hoping for some kind of fight and the victory, be it Banaskantha, Sabarkantha, Anand and Bharuch, where the India bloc is fighting. AAP candidate Chetar Wasawa is in the fray there, and the 6th-time MP Mansukh Wasawa from the BJP is fighting there. So Bharuch seat is very crucial for the India bloc as well. They are hoping for the slight margin victory in the Bharuch, and they are hoping for the opening the account in Bharuch as well. But there are 4 seats where Congress or the India bloc are eyeing. But BJP is very much confident they are getting all 26 of 26 seats for the 3rd time, and they are going to make the hat-trick, while PM Modi will be the Prime Minister of the India for the consecutive 3rd time.
Absolutely. As far as any state is concerned in the country, Gujarat probably is the most bankable state as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned. And as Brijesh is saying, the BJP hopes that this will be a hat-trick in this Lok Sabha election after their clean sweeps in 2014 and 2019. As far as the low voter turnout is concerned, Brijesh, what is your understanding as to what could be the reasons to which this low voter turnout could be then attributed to? Of course, it wasn't phenomenal, I would say, in 2019. If I'm not mistaken, the figure stood at about 64.51%. It looks like roughly it's going to come down to exactly those numbers at this point of time as well as we look at the numbers right now. What do you attribute that low voter turnout to, Brijesh?
Paulavi, as far as the heat is the biggest concern for both the political parties, as it was expected that there will be 42 to 43 degree temperature in the noon time. So because of heat wave, people didn't come to vote in the noon part, where especially from after 11:30 to 3 or 4 o'clock. So these are the crucial 4 hours which were wasted as far as the voting is concerned. Though the figures will show some figures, some 30 to 40% voting in this kind of in this time period, but still it was very low turnout during this time because of the heat. All the political parties were expecting such kind of scenario, but still BJP was hopeful that their cadre will pull out the voter from the house and they will do the voting. But as far as city areas concerned, especially in Ahmedabad, where the Gandhinagar Lok Sabha constituency, if we are talking, there are the three assembly seats which are the totally urban seats, where the voting percentage is slightly low than expected. So that is a bit worry off for the Central Union Home Minister as well, because he is eyeing the highest lead from the Gandhinagar as well. So where they are trying to push the voting in last 1 hour.
Okay. Brijesh, thank you so much for joining us with all of those updates. So the voter turnout exactly isn't as enthusiastic or in the record numbers that the BJP was hoping it would see in the state of Gujarat. Of course, we will get that data by the end of the day as to what the final tally looked like.